is good people? You are now listening to another episode of At the Plate with Danny Foxworth. I am your humble narrator, Danny Foxworth, and on this episode, I'm going to go over the MLB standings and a couple of local baseball affairs, and then I'm going to talk about my dream team that I would assemble if I were a GM. So let's start off with the MLB standings. So starting off in the NL East, the Phillies are still atop that division with a record of 77-54. They're 6 games up on the Braves. I had the Braves winning the division on the preview episode, but again, injuries, that'll do it. You know, they cannot catch a break with the injuries. And the Mets are in third place with a record of 68-63. They're 9 games out. Then in the NL Central, the Brew Crew, they've had a strong hold on that division pretty much the entire season. They're 75-55. They have a comfortable 10-game lead over the Cubs, who are duking it out with the Cardinals for second place. Then in the NL West, you got the Dodgers atop the division still with a record of 78-53. However, the Diamonds and Padres, the two hottest teams in baseball since the All-Star break, are hot on their heels. The Diamondbacks are only 3 games back, and the Padres are only 4 games back. Corbin Carroll's catching fire for the D-backs at the right time. Then going over to the AL East, where the Yankees still sit atop the division at a record of 78-54. They're 2 games up on the Baltimore Orioles. Aaron Judge, I mean, what more needs to be said? He cracked reached 50 home runs already in August. I mean, his AL MVP is pretty much cemented at this point. Former Charleston Riverdog, I might add, class of 2015. Pleasure watching him play. Pleasure seeing him. I did not envision seeing AL MVP from Aaron Judge, though. I have to admit that. Red Sox are 10 games out, or 10 and a half games out. They're in third in the AL East with a record of 67-64. Then going to the AL Central, got the Cleveland Guardians, who have been holding it down for the majority of the season. They're looking like they got some sweat under the collar. The Kansas City Royals are hot on their heels. They're only a game back of the Guardians for first place in the AL Central. Bobby Witt, another AL MVP candidate. He's getting the job done. I had the pleasure of watching him play a couple weeks ago up in Cincinnati. He didn't have an outing worth writing home about, but still, that was just one game, and they're truly getting the job done. It's always good seeing the Royals do good. They're low-key one of my favorite teams to watch this year. And the Twins are in third place with a record of 72-59. They're 2.5 games out of first place. So tight race going on in the American League Central. However, I will say, if you're a White Sox fan, God bless you. If you feel the need to jump ship, I don't even blame you. I don't blame you in the slightest. There are literally 70 games below 500. 70, not 17, 7-0. They're currently sitting at a record of 31-101. 44 games out of first place. Whew, God bless. And then going to the AL West. I'm so sick of these pesky ass Houston Astros. Every year they do this shit. I wish they could just go away or move to a different division or something. They're just always in the way. Got a record of 70-61. The Seattle Mariners are 3.5 games out. It's been wild seeing how bad the Mariners' offense has struggled this year. I mean, they've struggled mightily, but the pitching is keeping their playoff hopes alive. So kudos to them. And my beloved Texas Rangers, they are 10 games out of first place, sitting at a record of 60-71. They're not doing it this year. And the pattern with Bruce Bochy's teams is normally whenever they win the World Series, the following year they miss the playoffs completely. So basically that means that the Rangers are going to win the World Series in 2025. And that's the MLB standings. Now, keeping it local, of course, my beloved home team, the Charleston Riverdogs, the 3-time defending Carolina League champion Charleston Riverdogs. They're currently in first place in the Carolina South Division with a record of 31-21. And the Fredericksburg is in first place in the Carolina North Division, also with a record of 33-21. They're 2.5 games up on the Carolina Mudcats for first place. And the Riverdogs are 3 games up on the Columbia Fireflies in the Carolina South Division. And the way they do playoff scenarios in the Carolina League is different from how they do it in Major League Baseball. In a nutshell, whoever has the finishes with the best record in the first and second half of the seasons, they automatically clinch a playoff berth. So you could theoretically win the division you could have the best record in the first half of the year and could go completely winless in the second half, and you still clinch a playoff berth because you had the best record in the league in the first half of the season. So the Riverdogs have a chance to win the division and clinch a playoff berth and try for their 4th straight Carolina League title. And hopefully they'll get the job done. And have the Dog Dynasty continue running things. And also keeping it local, yesterday, College of Charleston announced that they're going to have a fall exhibition baseball game with the University of South Carolina Gamecocks on November 7th. And I already scooped my ticket up, and I'm looking forward to that and supporting the Cougars. And lastly, I wanted to share what my dream baseball team would look like if I were an owner. So this is not necessarily all the best players, but they're my favorite players, past and present. And if they're considered the best at their position, because I've always been an advocate of favorite as opposed to hearing who you think the best is. I think it just makes for a more interesting conversation. But without further ado, I'm going to get into my lineup. I'm just going to go by position. Actually, I'll start with the DH. He's a left fielder, but I have another person filling the left. Have a more adequate outfielder, or more adequate left fielder, defensive wise, that'll fill the left fielder spot. So my DH is my all-time favorite baseball player, Rickey Henderson, greatest leadoff hitter who ever lived, Hall of Famer, MVP, 10-time All-Star, 2-time World Series champion, Gold Glove, 3-time Silver Slugger, ALCS MVP, career batting average of .279, 297 career home runs, which is the most of all time for a leadoff hitter, 3,055 hits. I mean, the man brought a flair to the game that just was unlike anybody else that was playing during this time period. And the man, also, I failed to mention, all-time leader in bases, all-time leader in stolen bases, all-time leader in runs scored. What more needs to be said about Rickey Henderson? He's my favorite. And the fact that he refers to himself in the third person, that's enough for me right there. Excuse me. Now, for my left fielder, who's going to replace him is arguably the greatest player in the history of Major League Baseball, Barry Bonds. 7-time MVP. Let me repeat that. 7-time MVP. That is insane. 14-time All-Star, 8-time Gold Glover, 12-time Silver Slugger, 2-time batting champion. The man was cold. Even if you took away his playing time with the San Francisco Giants, his time with the Pirates, he's still a Hall of Famer. It's ridiculous. I believe he already had 4 MVPs with the Pirates alone. Then in center fielder, I got the kid, Ken Griffey Jr. Who didn't emulate his swing? Smoothest swing ever. Hall of Famer, MVP, 13-time All-Star, 3-time Home Run Derby champion, 10-time Gold Glove winner, 7-time Silver Slugger, career batting average of .284, 630 career home runs, 2,700 hits. One of my favorites. And then moving on to right field, this one may throw you for a loop because this guy was one of my favorite players growing up in the 90s from the Atlanta Braves. My right fielder is David Justice. That man just had such a cool and just a swaggy element to his game that was just always fun to watch. NL Rookie of the Year, 3-time All-Star, 2-time World Series champion, 2-time Silver Slugger, ALCS MVP, career batting average of .279, 305 career home runs, which I didn't realize he had that many career home runs, and 1,500 hits. Shout out to David Justice. Then moving to the infield, my first baseman is Miguel Cabrera. I mean, what more needs to be said about that guy? Two-time MVP, Triple Crown winner, 12-time All-Star, World Series champion with the Marlins in 03, 7-time Silver Slugger, 4-time batting champion. Career batting average 306, 511 career home runs, 3,174 RBIs, or 3,174 hits, excuse me. Came into the league at age 20 years old and just took the league by storm. And the fact that he was able to achieve the Triple Crown, which is something that I always wanted to witness in my lifetime, that I thought I would never get to see, and he got the job done. So kudos to Miguel Cabrera. Then at second base, I got Roberto Alomar, former Toronto Blue Jay, Baltimore Orioles player, Hall of Famer, 12-time All-Star, 2-time World Series champion, 10-time Gold Glover, 4-time Silver Slugger, ALCS MVP, career batting average right at 300, 210 home runs, 2,724 career hits. And what makes Roberto Alomar my pick is also for sentimental purposes, because he literally got his professional career started in Charleston as a member of the Charleston Rainbows, him and his brother Sandy Alomar. And I remember being in elementary school and taking field trips out to College Park to watch the Alomar brothers play. And he's literally the first minor league player that I saw play in person that ended up making it to the major leagues. Then at shortstop, I got my guy, Ozzie Smith, St. Louis Cardinal legend, Hall of Famer, 15-time All-Star, 13-time Gold Glove winner, Silver Slugger, NLCS MVP, and of course, you can't mention Smith without mentioning the patented backflip running to his shortstop position, where he just showed tremendous range. Nothing ever got by the guy, Ozzie Smith. Then at third base, of course, I had to keep it with Texas Rangers, and I'm going with my guy, Adrian Beltre. Just got admitted into the Hall of Fame, 4-time All-Star, 5-time Gold Glove winner, 4-time Silver Slugger, 2-time Platinum Glove winner, which I wasn't even aware there was a platinum. I didn't know there was an award higher than Gold Glove. Yeah, he's got 2 of them platinum things. 286 career batting average, 477 career home runs, 3,166 career hits. I mean, nothing got by the dude. And what I love most about Adrian Beltre is even when he was hurt, he played through the pain. He was constantly just nagging hamstring injuries when he was with the Rangers. And he was a vital part as to how they got to the World Series back-to-back in 2010 and 2011. And I used to get a kick out of watching his shortstop, Elvis Andrews, the way he used to just pick on him and how he used to always mess with his hair, because Adrian Beltre hated when people would touch his head. Like he would throw so many fits and tantrums. But I mean, the man is a Hall of Famer, and he's well deserved that honor. Then for my starting pitcher, I'm going Greg Maddux, which is my all-time favorite pitcher. Man, Hall of Famer, 4-time Cy Young winner, 8-time All-Star, 18-time Gold Glove winner. 18 Gold Gloves. Ridiculous. 4-time ERA champion. What I love so much about Greg Maddux is he didn't blow you away with just throwing flames. He got you with control and just the command of the strike zone. I mean, he could just do whatever he wanted to do. And I love watching him with the Cubs. I remember I'd get off the bus and cut on WGN and watch Cubs games in the afternoon. And then when he got traded to the Braves, I was like, man, that man's in a prime spot. And I remember he threw a complete game on it was either 77 or 78 pitches, which is unheard of. And then for my closer, I got a guy that's in the league right now currently, Emmanuel Clase. He's probably one of my favorite closers. If not, I mean, it's still a little early. He might end up being my favorite closer of all time. I mean, just electric. Got a 4-2 record. He legit can make a case for a Cy Young Award winner just as a closer. His ERA is 0.6. 0.6. Every time he comes to the mound in the ninth inning, it's basically a guarantee that they're going to get the Guardians are going to get the W, and he's going to slam that door shut. And that's my fantasy team. And I think that's going to do it for this episode. So make sure you like, download, and subscribe to At the Plate with Danny Foxworth. Make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend. Also, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm at Danny Foxworth 843. There you can find all the videos of all the episodes for this podcast, as well as my other podcasts since we last spoke with Danny Foxworth, and my new podcast, Growing Up Low Country with Liz and Danny. And thank you to each and every one of you. I officially surpassed 200 YouTube subscribers, and I could not do it without the help of y'all. So seriously, man, that means the world to me. This started as a dream and an idea back in late 2022, and to see the podcast go this far, you know, I gotta give myself a pat on the back for just sticking to the plan and going forward with my plan and seeing it through. But also, I'm completely indebted to the listeners and the viewers of this podcast. So again, thank you. And this has been another episode of At the Plate with Danny Foxworth. And until next time, y'all be good. 3 strikes.